So right now, most buyers are shopping Prescott as if it were one market. The problem to doing something like that is you may miss out on some incredible suburbs that actually offer a lot more in amenities, lifestyle, and abilities to get to your day-to-day needs.
If you're trying to get in early, you need to understand these three basic things. A few of these Prescott suburbs are really planning for 2026.
Which areas are actually talking about those growth potentials and which areas are getting ahead of it, seeing what daily needs are a necessity for the new community and for the new residents.
Well, and then how do you tell the difference between a suburb that is about ready to explode versus one that's going to get left behind?
So I'm Tiffany, this is Shawn. We are husband-wife team and real estate agents with Realty One Mountain Desert here in the lovely city of Prescott, Arizona. We try to show you the good, bad, and the ugly of everything to consider if you're considering a relocation to our area. So let's talk about one of the hottest suburbs. Shawn, let's start with Prescott Valley. And I think a reason why Prescott Valley is probably the hottest suburb of Prescott is because there's a whole lot of newer construction, newer homes, cutting-edge amenities, newer infrastructure, and that sort of thing.
The major Finley Toyota Center, which is our major event center within Yavapai County, is right at the center of Prescott Valley. And with all the brand new shopping and amenities that surround the Prescott Valley Town Center, it's going to offer you your most modern conveniences of a typical suburban town.
We have a Home Depot and there's a Walmart Supercenter. We have a Sprouts, those sorts of things, all located within that suburb. So you don't actually have to travel into Prescott proper for those amenities. There's grocery stores. In fact, I recently saw a post on social media from the Town of Prescott Valley's page talking about all the new things coming in 2026, including new car dealerships, a new grocery store, which is Aldi, and a few more restaurants.
Well, and how many new hotels have popped up in 2025 and are still coming in 2026?
That's true.
With the new Marriott and the new
Home to Suites, I believe.
Yes. So lots of new growth potential that has already happened and will continue to happen into 2026. It is the major growth corridor within the Prescott area, for sure. And another misnomer is that the Prescott Valley is, hotter or it's lower in elevation, and reality is not. It's not much different.
It's very minimal, maybe a couple degrees. It's not like a 10 or 15 degree swing in the valley as opposed to
you might be mile high in the Courthouse Plaza, 5250 or so is the elevation. In Prescott Valley, you're like 5100s.
So maybe you're considering Prescott Valley, but you're thinking, I can't go to Prescott Valley because I want acreage or I want room between myself and my neighbors. Well, there is actually North Prescott Valley, which is just north of the 89A, and that in that area offers quite a few communities that are acreage, 2+ acre minimum out there, custom homes. So you can still have the amenities lifestyle with all the shopping and dining and entertainment near you, but still have that room between you and your neighbors. You don't necessarily need to have animals to live out there, but maybe you've lived in a suburb or you've lived in tight quarters or in the city your entire life and you want that room to breathe, you want to see the stars at night, and you don't want to hear your neighbor flush their toilet, then maybe North Prescott Valley is an area of that suburb to consider.
For sure. And it's really only a 10 or 15 minute commute to the downtown Prescott Valley Town Center and all your shopping and amenities, the hospital, library, etc. If you're looking for something a little more rural and a little more small town feel than, the largest suburb of the Prescott Valley, then I would consider number 2, which is Chino Valley. So Chino Valley is kind of on the northwest end of the Prescott area, and Highway 89, you've got a small, Safeway grocery store, and you've got a
Dollar General
and a drugstore there within Chino Valley, but not a huge amount of amenity in terms of, some of the other things that Prescott or Prescott Valley might offer.
It's actually on the border with Prescott as well. The airport is out there if you're a golfer. Antelope Hills is out there as well. On the Prescott side, you're probably a 7-minute drive from the airport to where you actually hit Chino Valley town limits. And so it does feel a world away. You're probably a 30-minute drive into the square if you don't hit traffic. But it is nice for those people who are looking for that non-HOA, more rural, smaller town feel. The population is smaller than both Prescott and Prescott Valley. Not as much of the subdivisions, not as much as the master plan communities out in that area.
There's still some options for acreage out there. There are some options for, a planned community out there. There's lots of different options for Chino.
I will say too, one thing that's different with Chino, maybe you want to feel like you're a world away and you want to drive a dirt road to get to your house. There's a little bit less infrastructure with the roads in the the streets out in the Chino Valley area than there would be in Prescott or in Prescott Valley. So if you want something that feels more country road, you're going 15 miles down the road to get to your house, that sort of thing, that definitely falls into that camp. The other thing too is we find a lot of horse people that end up in Chino Valley because you can get 5 and 10 acre parcels out there. The Chino Valley Equestrian Park is out there, so that's a great thing. It definitely has that charm and that small town feel with acreage potential.
I'm not sure what the exact population is right now, but 6 to 10,000 people in total compared to 50,000 of Prescott or Prescott Valley.
Yeah.
So substantially smaller, and that could be a potential fit for you.
So if you want a little bit more affordable area, but you want to stay connected to maybe the amenities of a Prescott Valley or Prescott, or if you're one of the people who need to commute down to Phoenix, maybe you have family, maybe you're going to fly out of Sky Harbor, maybe you have a specialist in the valley that you need to see, then maybe you want to consider the suburb of Dewey-Humboldt.
Dewey-Humboldt is along Highway 69 as you move east towards I-17, and you drop down in elevation a little bit. The elevation in Dewey-Humboldt is probably going to be 45 to 4,600 foot, depending on where you are. It's even smaller than Chino Valley.
There is one at this time. There is, actually, I take that back. There are a couple master plan communities. One of them would be a more established community, the Prescott Country Club. There's a golf amenity and component in there, which is really nice. A lot of custom, semi-custom homes in there. They have some townhomes. There's even a manufactured portion in that area. The other area to consider if you're wanting a master plan community would then put you in Quailwood, which is also a golf community. And those are newer homes, about 20 plus years of the oldest. Some 2 stories, mainly 1 stories out there. And again, master plan with amenities. Aside from that, though, there's a fair amount of acreage and some hillside lots out there. There's some rolling topography and changes. There's a custom home community, the Estates at Cherry Ridge, which is super nice out there. That feels like you're a world away. That's off of the 169 at the 69 intersection, I should say. Keep in mind, though, your shopping in that area is going to be the Family Dollar unless you travel into the suburb of Prescott Valley. And then there's some great dining out there. Lefty's has been out there for several years. Unfortunately, word is out and it's a crazy place on a Friday night, but it's still a great place to get a good meal.
Dewey-Humboldt is also home for Mortimer Farms, which is, they have a farm-to-table restaurant. They also have barn dances on Friday nights. They actually supply a lot of the local produce for many of our local restaurants. Dewey-Humboldt, even smaller than Chino Valley. So that's what makes up the Quad Cities area. Dewey-Humboldt is probably going to be the smallest.
All right, Shawn. So if you've looked at the suburbs and you absolutely have to be in Prescott and you want that I live in Prescott vibe, you want that Prescott address, let's talk about why you would choose Prescott over one of the suburbs.
So obviously Prescott is what puts our entire area on the map. If you're not a suburban type of person in terms of lifestyle and you want the historic charm of the Courthouse Plaza and Whiskey Row and all the amenities that you see when you Google Prescott, Arizona, maybe that's the right fit for you. There are some trade-offs. You're certainly going to be looking at much older housing, certainly not as newer as some of the suburbs that we've previously mentioned, but Prescott is an unbelievable, charming town. We were just on Whiskey Row yesterday, had great lunch down there, and new restaurants are actually starting to pop up. In the last couple months, we've seen multiple new restaurants within Prescott.
The other thing too, so people think, oh, well, is there shopping? There are some shopping, there's some stores. There's a Safeway that's close to downtown. There's a Fry's that's close to downtown. So you can live in that core and still have shopping. You don't have to come out to the suburbs to do your shopping, which is super nice. And maybe you want a house that has some historic charm or a pedigree or it's on a registry. That's where you go to find those things.
Yeah. Or mid-century modern if you're into like mid-century modern architecture, historic bungalows or a Tudor, some of the older architectural styles, you're certainly going to find those in Prescott. Beyond that, you're also going to find, the ability to purchase in high-end golf community, with Hacienda and Talking Rock. I mean, there's lots of options within Prescott itself.
And Hidden Valley Ranch, that's a fantastic neighborhood that I don't really think we give enough spotlight to on our channel. I absolutely love that neighborhood. Tall pine trees, you're like 5 minutes to the Courthouse Plaza. You can pop up Senator Highway and you can hit Goldwater Lake. You can be in National Forest and recreation for days out there, just a few miles up the road from that community. And they still have the amenities while they're older. They still have the amenities amenities of the pickleball and the gym and the pools.
While we're talking about some of the neighborhoods within Prescott, we just want to remind you, we'll put a QR code right here on the screen. Take your cell phone out, pop a picture of that QR code, and it's going to take you to our website. We've put together a relocation guide, and it's jam-packed with our favorite neighborhoods, our favorite restaurants, local trails if you're a hiker.
Important telephone numbers that you might need if you're considering a relocation. And if you're not tech savvy, we actually just mailed out our first relocation guide in the US mail this week. So if you want us to do that, give us a call. We're happy to do that as well. Okay, so if you want the Prescott prestige and you want the Prescott address and the Prescott name, but you want a newer community and you want amenities, maybe you want access to trails, then the next area to consider, I would say, would be the Dells community, which is a master plan community. They have a gated section, they have a non-gated section. They have the larger homes, they have the smaller homes, they have custom home lots. And the neighboring community to that would be Walden Ranch and Walden Farms, which I would also put on the list. Here's the kicker for that area. It's a Prescott address. You have some ease of use to get to shopping off of Willow Creek Road. There's a grocery store and some dining out there, but there's planned corridors for commercial along the 89 where the Jasper and the Dells connect in the future. And so I feel like that's kind of one of those areas where you buy now, yes, you have grocery, which isn't that far away, but you're going to have so much more at your fingertips as those items come on and those places come online and they get those, vendors and those stores to come in and anchor those centers.
Well, and I think some of the best views in all of our area, you can see some unbelievable views of Granite Mountain, unbelievable views of the Dells, Watson Lake around there. So definitely something to consider while still maintaining a Prescott address, but a little more on the outskirts.
And there's an inner trail system in the community of the Dells that will then access the Iron King Trail and the Peavine Trail. So you again have 16 miles on one side and 13 miles on the other of trail system right at pretty much at your backyard, which is fantastic. So from here, I would say that another area to consider if you want a little bit more space, but you still want a Prescott address, would take us out to Williamson Valley.
Beautiful equestrian area, a lot of ranches and horse properties out in that particular area. You have Williamson Valley Ranch out that way. You've got American Ranch. You've got
the new community of Stringfield, which is custom home lots, 1 to 3 acres out there, which are up on a hillside and absolutely stunning, some of those views.
And you've got Whispering Canyon, which is great area for some new construction. And then right next to it, you have another custom home acreage subdivision, and then Talking Rock, and then even beyond there, if you really want to venture out and get into some real large acreage, 10, 20, 30, 50 acres, it's the top end of Williamson Valley Road with neighborhoods like Crossroads Ranch and Las Vegas Ranches.
Yeah, Long Meadow Ranch.
Long Meadow Ranch. I mean, there's lots of opportunity for big acreage when you get all the way at the top end of Williamson Valley Road.
Keep in mind, though, that's one area that there is not really a commercial component that is proposed or out there. On Outer Loop and Williamson Valley, there is a Chevron. There's a great little sub shop in the Chevron. But other than that, that's about it as far as amenities and shopping. So you're going to come back the 2-lane road, Williamson Valley, back into Prescott, likely off of Willow Creek or all the way into town to get to your grocery and your dining and that sort of things. That's one of those things to keep in mind with that particular suburb.
6 areas that we've kind of talked about. Number 1, Prescott Valley. If you want to get in early, you want to get into the ground floor, you want to get into a brand new community, you'll realize the upswing and growth potential of, buying in early into a community that's going to take 15, 20 years to finish, like a Jasper, for instance.
Yeah. Or you want new shopping, new dining, new experiences, entertainment, that sort of thing.
Number 2.
Yep. So that takes us out to Chino Valley. If you want the quieter, more country lifestyle, you want to be a little bit more disconnected from things, you want to, get home and maybe not see your neighbors and be on acreage, and you don't mind making that commute into your Costco or a movie theater or the doctor's office, then Chino Valley would be a place for you to consider.
Number 3, Dewey Humboldt. If you are one that commutes to Phoenix more often, this is going to put you closest to Interstate 17 on the far east end, southeast end of our area. And, you could still get into a nice planned community there, or alternatively buy on some acreage in the Chino Valley area.
So number 4 is going to take you into that beautiful, amazing historic core of Prescott, and the reason we're all here talking about anything related to our area, and that is if you're wanting that cool vintage historic bungalow, or you want history and you want that Western lifestyle that everybody loves, then Prescott is something you're going to want to consider.
Number 5, if you're an amenity-rich junkie and you want the clubhouses and the pools and all those sorts of things,
but you want a Prescott address,
you might want to consider the Dells, Prescott Lakes,
Walden Ranch, Walden Farms. They have some amenities, but it's newer construction with the Prescott address.
Okay. And then if you are set on having some room between you and your neighbor, but still want to have a Prescott address, you're going to consider Williamson Valley.
And if you want views of Granite Mountain and you want that charm of, the rural lifestyle with horses and big ranches, then that's definitely your calling card. Okay, Shawn, so what does this mean for buyers and sellers in 2026?
Well, it's January 2026 and the phones have been very busy. So like many folks, January, people start thinking about their resolutions and their goals for the year and all that sort of thing. So don't wait, get on the phone, give us a ring. If you are considering a purchase in the Prescott area in 2026, start now. Whether you're moving at the end of 2026 or even early 2027, start your research now. Come out, call Shawn and Tiffany. We'll tour you around, show you a lot of these areas, figure out what works best for your lifestyle.
This is a big kicker that a lot of people don't consider. If you're thinking new construction and maybe you have a house to sell, new construction on the short end is going to take 6 months. On the long end, it could take a year. So if you're thinking, I want to be moved into my new home in Prescott or Prescott Valley or Chino Valley or Dewey, any of the areas we covered, and I need to sell my house and I need a game plan of how long it's going to take, keep that in mind. Get out early and, do your research and see which neighborhoods you like. And you also, will be able to pick your lot and watch your build as you plan your sale of your home in your existing location.
And if you're a seller in a market outside of our area, call us. We'll get you connected with a great agent local to your area. We have a network of thousands of agents across the country, and we would be happy to have them get with you, have an initial consultation, and talk about what it's going to take to get your home sold so that when the time comes, your move is much easier to the Prescott area.
So for local sellers, what does all of this mean for 2026? I think the key is if you're in an area where there's new construction or new development coming up that's plotted or planned near you, and you're wanting to, maybe you're the newer home in your area and you're wanting to be able to capitalize on that, knowing what's coming to your area is key, right? Because you don't want to compete with the 2,500 new homes that are coming in next door on that plot of land. You want to be able to sell at the right time, and you want to know, is now the time? Should I wait until that grocery store is built? Should I wait until more restaurants come in? Is there an expansion of the freeway or highway coming? That's key in 2026.
I'm Shawn, this is Tiffany, and we're the local experts behind living in Prescott. So give us a ring. We'll put that QR code up there again in case you missed it.
Feel free to reach out anytime. We're happy to chat via text, email, call, whatever works for you. You don't get a call center. You get Shawn or myself. Thanks for watching.
Catch you in the next video.